All right, so here are with Alikek as he debate a college students who tend to make excuses for criminals. I believe that this is going to be a very interesting one. So without any further ado, let's get on to the video and listen to their dialogue.
But don't you think that like there's a reason that a lot of the black community doesn't have a father, and it's because of systemic racism. It's because like black men are more likely to be in prison.
Oh yeah, so why do people go to prison?
For like a lot of the time it's because they're in poverty and they have no other way to get.
Okay, so they commit crimes.
Because
Yeah, but so wait, so wait.
Why do they
So wait, if you're
commit crimes?
So in poverty, we should give excuses for committing crimes?
Yes, because if they have
like murder?
I did not say murder. I said I'm saying like if someone is stealing something because they have no money and there's no jobs.
That's so interesting. So you think most crimes are crimes of necessity in the black community?
I'm not saying most.
So like gangbanging is like a crime of necessity?
That I literally never said that. I'm saying,
but you're making an argument of crimes of necessity. Like they're so hungry they can't handle it.
I'm talking about like crime that has to do with like getting food, getting stuff that you need to live.
Right, but we have food stamps for anyone that needs it, so that doesn't exist. We have subsidized housing for anyone that needs it, so that doesn't exist. We have free health care for any poor person that wants it, called Medicaid, that doesn't exist. We also have welfare, cash, for anyone that wants it, so that doesn't exist. So what is it they're missing that they need to go, sorry about that.
Well, the food, like a lot of food stamps might not cover all of what they need, and also housing is like, there's not unlimited housing. A lot of people who are unhoused have to like go to shelters, and then they get kicked out of shelters because there's a mandatory stay limit. So it's not like you just get a house.
It's not a stuff thing, though, right? It's like if you need stuff, there's also tons of charities out there that can provide assistance, churches. You will not go hungry in this country. You will not starve in this country.
Yes, you will. There's
no, we have an obesity problem.
Street?
We have an obesity problem, not a starvation problem in this country.
What are you talking about?
In State Street, if any one of those people went to the local Episcopalian church or Methodist church, they will get fed. I guarantee it. If they go to a local food shelter, they will get fed.
Okay, but I'm talking, housing.
For housing. If we have Section 8 subsidized housing in this country, right? If you want to have a roof over your head, you can have a roof over your head.
With like thousands of rules, and you can't do anything.
Yes, of course, yes. I mean, it's not ideal, but the point is this. So let's just go back to the crime and necessity, right? Mm-hmm. So why do people commit crimes?
I'm not saying why all people commit crimes. I'm saying there are people who commit crimes because they have no other choice.
Got it. So why is it that other people that are as poor as they are in separate racial groups don't commit crimes at the same rates? For example, blacks are 13% of the population and they commit over 50% of the crimes. Why is that?
Black people, I would say, not blacks.
Okay,
but
it's not. I could say white, so you wouldn't care. So
anyway,
hold on. Right? I can say Hispanics, you wouldn't care. So don't police my language.
But whatever. I'm not policing your language. I'm just saying I would say black people.
Fair enough. But the insinuation is that I'm being racist. But that's fine.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Yeah, but so black Americans are 13% of the population and commit anywhere between 50 to 56% of murders, crimes, carjackings. Why is that?
Well, what percentage of the white population is living in the same level of poverty?
Got it. So there's twice as many white Americans in poverty as black Americans. Not the same percentage, but still, if you look at white Americans in poverty, they commit far less crimes than black Americans in poverty. Why is that?
Maybe it's because when you're in a store, like they follow black people and they don't follow white people.
What about murder?
Rural?
No, but why is it that, like, just saying murder, why is it that black people commit so many more murders? Like, that's not, you're being followed in a store and you commit more murders?
Yeah.
You're making the rule, or I'll get to you in a sec, but it's not a good argument. But let me just go back to one thing you said. Systemic racism, right? So the idea of systemic is that it's within our laws. Mm-hmm. There are some black Americans here listening. What can you as a white American do that the black American cannot do?
Let's see. I could go into a store and not get followed. The police could not track me down on when I'm driving. I'm less likely to get shot and killed while I'm driving. There's a lot of things that I can do.
Okay, so just be clear. So if you walk into a local CVS here, how would you guys be treated differently?
Well, they would probably say hello, and they would probably just walk, let me in and not follow me. And then
So these are a lot of probablys. I don't believe you, but I'm talking about laws, right? So what in the legal code of America can you as a white individual do that the black individual can't? Because systemic means it's in our code, right? It's like, for example, like Jim Crow, totally get it. That's systemic racism. What is systemically your advantage?
Maybe like housing codes, because I know redlining isn't a thing anymore, but there is, isn't there people who are white are more likely to be given loans because of, like, they have less, I don't know, that's just it's back from redlining. Like, it's a lot of the same stuff.
So, I don't buy into any of that. So I just kind of go.
You don't buy into redlining, or you don't buy
into redlining. I don't buy any of that stuff that happens today. In fact, it's the opposite. Loans are now given favorably to black Americans in certain cities over white Americans.
Okay, but let's.
So we
you
could,
think
because
redlining?
I believe in. I know redlining existed.
Okay,
I don't debate that. Of course it has. But because of DEI and because of affirmative action, there's actually a preference given. But so let's go back to fathers, right?
Okay, let's go back to fathers.
So something happened to black America since 1965. So in 1965, so.
You mean the war on drugs?
Right. Well, so if that's your contention, that's fine. So in order to go to jail for the war on drugs, you have to be dealing drugs, right? Or you have to be caught with drugs. So if you don't
which is one of like the main jobs that you can have in a poverty-stricken. Like if there's no jobs, like you're going to do drugs. I mean, you're going to trade drugs because that's the only option you have.
It's such a difference in worldview. You're making excuses for criminals.
Yeah.
And what an insult to poor immigrants that came to this country that didn't commit crimes and worked 2 or 3 jobs and worked themselves out of poverty and didn't decide to go deal coke.
Well, my father is a white immigrant from Poland, and he committed crimes, and he's fine now. So.
Did he go to jail?
Yeah, he did.
I thought there was systemic racism. I thought that doesn't happen very much.
I never said white people don't go to jail. I said they go more, and you're saying that white immigrants are fine and they don't.
No, it's far less actually. I'm glad he went to jail if he committed a crime. I think it's terrible.
Yeah.
So, but at the core of it, we have a difference in worldview, right? My worldview is I'm not sympathetic to people that steal, that loot, and murder, because that's a values problem. And I don't like making excuses for people that do things that are obviously destructive. Secondly, we have a problem in black America. The biggest problem is not racism, it's the lack of dads. If dads are around, kids flourish. And you know who agreed with me? Barack Obama. Barack Obama used to make this a central piece of his campaign. He came to this campus back in 2012, drew like a 100,000 person crowd, and talked about how we need to rebuild the black family and put dads back. Why doesn't the Democrat Party talk about that anymore?
I'm fine with having fathers. I'm not against having black dads.
For sure. I'm saying, but don't we agree? Has anyone heard that mentioned on the national scale in the last 10 years? Yeah, I mean, we've heard about
probably not.
Yeah, and
because there's bigger issues.
No, there isn't. See, that's the issue, is that this is what makes us different. As a conservative, I focus on if you have family breakdown, don't worry about climate change, don't worry about systemic racism. All that stuff is like these crazy abstractions.
What do you think create family problems? Systemic racism creates family problems. If you take away black people from their families, then they're going to have broken families.
Okay, but that's interesting. How are you taking them away? Aren't they leaving? They're not staying with the women they're impregnating. So, for example, there are 13% of the population is black. Not every single person ends up in jail, obviously. And yet there's huge child abandonment because there's a cultural expectation that is different in black America than in white America, which is it's okay to impregnate a woman and abandon her in black America. It's not
based on what? What is that based on?
That's a good question. Where does it come from? It's just based on...
No, I'm saying what is that, like, your view of black America?
Well, it's not a view. It's true. I mean, don't take my word for it. Look at Thomas Sowell and Shelby Steele that have done amazing analysis on this. It's that in black culture, that is not considered to be a stigma. In white upper middle class culture, for those of you that grew up in Waukesha or Libertyville or grew up in Hinsdale or grew up in Naperville, you guys all know those neighborhoods. If you impregnate a girl, a woman, and you just like abandon her, that's frowned upon. That is a social stigma in upper middle class white culture.
And it's not in black culture?
No. In fact, it's glorified by the rap culture.
Well, that's a very interesting one, listening to Charlie Kirk and this very young lady having a dialogue concerning some of the things that we do. But then one thing I want to say is that we need not to make any excuses for anyone committing, a crime. Crime is not good and it causes, pain to the victim. So therefore, we need to desist, you understand, from some of these things. And then we as black people, when you find yourself, you understand, in America, since this is some of the things that has been happening mostly, you understand, around the black community. Now I could say that the government have this social program for some of these baby mamas and then all those things. I mean, ladies that maybe they got them pregnant and then the men, they decide, you understand, not to stay. So there's this intervention, you understand, program here in America that they do to be able to help alleviate some of these women. But then the issue here is that in doing so, I'm not saying that, you understand, it is wrong or the government are wrong by doing so, but I'm saying that in the process of doing that tends to encourage some of these men, you understand, to do more, because there is nothing that is actually, you understand, holding them back that will make them, in a sense, to stop doing some of those things. So that's why I see some of those things, you understand, are in increment. And then if some of these things are actually in a rise, then it automatically means that crime rate are bound to be increased. Why? Because some of these men will get some of these ladies, you understand, pregnant, and then they will not take care of them. They will not give the children a fatherly love, and then some of these children, you understand, will grow without having fatherly love, and then therefore go outside, commit more crime, and then all that. So when you look at it, in a sense, the thing is like a cycle. And if the problem, in a sense, is not tackled, and then the thing keep on going in a cycle, that's why I see the crime rate, in a sense, keep increasing. Why? Because the social intervention program that is being set up, in a sense, to support some of these women does not actually fix the problem, but then therefore increase, you understand, the problem, because people will feel like, okay, well, when you get her pregnant, I guess there's a program that they can be able to take care of them. What happened to the children? And you know, one thing about us children is immediately you grow in a place that, I'm not saying there's everyone that actually have a father, but then when you grow without some of this fatherly love, you see the children tend to behave in some kind of way. And then when it is female, for instance, some of them end up becoming, you understand, effeminate. They tend not to have this respect for men and then stuffs like that. So that's the reason why, you understand, we don't have to encourage, you understand, some of these things. So if you're a black person, you understand, living in America, it's been expected of you to at least do the right thing. If you get somebody pregnant, then be responsible of your own action. Don't just abandon her and make her to take care or raise the baby, you understand, by herself. At least step up, you understand, as a father and do the needful. And then when we look at, you understand, some of this systemic, you understand, racism and then stuffs like that, I will not say that, you understand, things like that, you understand, don't happen. Of course, you understand, they happen, you understand, in our society, but then it's something that what we should not be encouraging, because if you look at it, you understand, this very way, and says that if you are a doctor, for instance, on a level playing ground, if you are a doctor, whether you are a male or a female, I think that you should have the same salary scale. They will not say because of you're a man, so you collect, you understand, more bigger share than a woman. No, it will be treated, you understand, equally. And they will not say that because you are a black man or you are a white man, so you will not receive the same equally. So it means that if you are engineering on the same level playing ground, it means that all of you, in a sense, will pay equally as an engineer. If it is a doctor, it will be the same thing. Wherever, you understand, it is, you understand, it will be, or a lawyer, everything, you understand, will be the same. They will not say that because of you are a male or you are a black or you are not, you understand, you are a white, so therefore the salary are not going to be the same. Of course, it's going to be the same thing. So it's been expected that as we are in the society, let's keep on, you understand, encouraging people to do the right thing, to stay away with crime and not make excuses, you understand, for criminals, just like how you see the lady was trying to justify it. But then anyway, that's her own opinion, and she said it how she understood some of these things. But then there are things that are open to dialogue. Of course, we can have a discussion, and some of you can justify that by dropping your thought and opinion at the comment section. Let's all learn from one another. So this is the end of my video. If you like my reaction, you should like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any video you want me to react to, don't forget to drop it at the comment section, and I'm going to check it out. So you remain blessed, and I see you in my next video. Goodbye.